Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
This is Asinine Radio. This is a weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we listen to all of their records. We rank them from worst to best, and we also give our biggest banger from each of them, if we even have a banger. I don't know. My name is Tyler. Way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars and 5 stars only. Tell all your friends how great we are because we are fucking awesome.
You fucking bored or what?
What?
You sound like you're bored. Like,
no, not at all. Not at all.
Just taking like 2 deep breaths, or
yeah, I need to breathe.
Okay,
I'm a human. Anyway, where was I? I don't know. I'm done with the intro. I'm Tyler, and way out there is Jeff. Let's get on with it. Well, we're gonna actually start with our 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge, and that's where we connect the band of the week to our boy Tom DeLonge in 6 degrees or less. So, what do you got, Jeff? Go.
I'll do my easy one and then my hard one. That's not that. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Darren Miller. I was gonna do all 3 of them: Darren, Chad, and then Jess. But then the second one fucking wore me out. So Darren Miller did a solo album with Travis Smith. Travis Smith did the cover art for his solo album. Travis Smith, he's done just a shit ton of album artwork for bands. And no offense, but I don't like any of them. Like the ones that I was just like scrolling through and clicking on, like, oh, he did this one. Don't like it. But he did the cover art for Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold. And then Avenged Sevenfold. Nightmare's their third to last.
Is that the one with the blue and has like
it looks like
the
CGI.
Grim Reaper or something?
Yeah. It's like CGI, right. And he's over like a grave of like a woman laying down or something.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. I know exactly.
It's dumb. But anyway, Brooks Wackerman plays for Avenged Sevenfold, and he's on our boy Tom's solo album.
Yeah, there you go. That's easy enough.
Easy enough.
So I only have one. So we start with Jess Margera to Jimmy Pop and Narkill. They were both in Narkill together. Jimmy Pop was in Bloodhound Gang with a guitarist named Daniel P. Carter. Daniel Carter was in a band called Crocodile with Alessandro Venturella, who played bass in that band. And Alessandro also plays bass in Slipknot with Corey Taylor. And Corey Taylor was on Travis's solo record, sang on one of the songs, and then Travis to Tom and Boxcar Racer. So there you go. 6 degrees right there. Boom. Easy peasy.
Here we go,
so
baby.
What's your next one?
This one was tough because I did Chad, and I didn't want to use Jess. Because Chad and Jess were in that Bam Margera group. But, okay, so Chad...
Fuckface Unstoppable?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Chad... So there's a band called Rudy Blitz. Chad printed early copies of that band's album, which featured this guy, Dante Cimino, on drums. Dante Cimino also played drums for this Philly stoner rock psychedelic group called Dandelion. Dandelion had David Johnson as producer for some of their albums. David Johnson co-produced a Buck O'9 album with Howard Benson. Buck O'9, cool little ska punk band. Howard Benson produced Simple Plan's Taking One for the Team. And as we know, Simple Plan had a song called I Do Anything, which featured Mark Hoppus on vocals.
Which featured
Mark Hoppus on vocals. Yeah. Mark to Tom.
Mark to Tom. There you go. Easy peasy. All right, so that's it for our 6 degrees with Tom DeLonge. Let's jump into our album rankings. So we're doing CKY, the band, and they have 5 records, so we're going to rank those from worst to best and give our biggest banger from each of them, if we even have one. So what do you got for number 5? Go.
Number 5, Kava City, 2009. Kava City. I don't know. There's a decent amount of cool metal stuffs here. The synth sound, I'm going off my notes here because I don't remember what half of these sound like. the synth sound was,
that's how I wrote.
It's very speed metal sounding. Jess's drumming is pretty damn good on this one. There's a lot of like breakdowns that he fancies up nicely. Overall, it's just kind of meh, whatever. But Plagued by Images, that song was my favorite. Had a good amount of like the heavy sound mixed with the double time speed up thing. It was fun, I guess.
It was an album, that's for sure.
It was an album, yes. It wasn't bad, but it was an album.
Yeah, let me preface this by saying none of these albums were bad. They're at worst, they're background music. Just throw it on, doing chores around the house, whatever, Yeah. It's what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. It's still good. My number 5, honestly, my 4 and 5 are interchangeable, really. But I'm just going to talk about the Phoenix. Let's just say this is my number 5. This is their last record they put out in 2017. The first album they did without Darren Miller, the original guitarist, singer, songwriter, everything. So Chad took over, wrote the songs, did everything on this, did lead vocals. And I mean, it's not a bad record. I think it's a little bit heavier in that it's not as doom or stoner rock as the other albums. It's not as technical either. It just has that overall heavier tone, if that makes sense. It's more metal. It's a more metal, straight up metal record than everything they did with Darren. And it's not bad. I don't know. I feel like it also is a little bit more stylistically varied because everything that they did prior to this sounds exactly like the song before it. There's really not much difference between the songs or the albums for the most part. I don't know. It's not bad. It's just not great. It's good. Fine. Okay. So that's why I have no banger off this one either. So what do you got for number 4?
Number 4 is the, there's only 2 albums here that I've listened to before this week. This is one of them. This is the one I listened to the most. And I thought that I liked it, but I really kind of don't. And that's An Answer Can't Be Found, 2005.
Oh, okay.
The music in this is solid. It's heavy, chuggy, sometimes like psychedelic sounding. My biggest issue is like the vocal delivery. It's so fucking raspy and sounds so lazy. I could not get over it. And it's above Carver City because I think the music here is pretty goddamn good. And it's fun and it's exciting. But man, this is like the worst vocal delivery I have heard them ever do. It's irritating.
Okay.
No banger.
No banger.
No banger.
Damn. Okay, so my 4 is Carver City, 4th record from 2009, last one with Darren Miller, who pretty much did everything. Really, this is just, it's more of the same. Like, seriously, if you've listened to the first 2-3 CKY records, you've heard this. I didn't know when I was listening to this, I didn't know where I was in the album. Was I on the 3rd song? Was I on the 10th song? I don't know. It just kept going. It's not bad, but I don't know. I have nothing. I don't remember anything about this record at all. No banger, but it was fine. I mean, I was doing my thing, just working and, but it just nothing. I remember nothing. Nothing stood out to me on this record. So Carver City is my number 4.
Okay.
What do you got for number 3?
The Phoenix, the one that you hated the most. I'm sorry. Like you said, this is the first one without Darren. Chad's taking over on vocals, and there's a huge difference. He sings more like a lower register, more like a lower register like Dio. A lot of vibrato, a lot of goofiness, but I dig it. The music supports him by being a little bit slower and chuggier. The guitars are very heavy, but they don't ever like shred or go faster than Chad's vocals can take. They're playing to him, his style, what he can do on the mic. I think that's cool. I enjoyed it because it was a little bit more cohesive and a little bit different than everything they've done. Not that much, but a little bit. Head for a Breakdown. That was my favorite song. Fucking incredibly catchy. Playlisted it. Super solid.
All right. My number 3 is Infiltrate, Destroy, Rebuild. Second album from 2002. This is a more refined version of Volume 1. It's more technical. I mean, this is a good record. Don't get me wrong. This is a good record. I did enjoy this one. Really, the only reason I don't know, man. It's just a lot of the same. It's a lot of the same. I really did enjoy this. I mean, the production was much better. It was a little bit more what am I trying to say? It's more not just refined, but like slicker. It's a slicker production. I don't know. I don't really remember much from this record either. I really don't.
Okay.
It's still good. It's still good, but I don't remember much from it. That's why I don't have a banger from this one either.
Okay.
I mean, I think what it is with CKY, I just need to listen to them more to really kind of get it, to really understand. That's how I was with like a band like Mastodon, which I guess is kind of an unfair comparison because Mastodon's way more technical, but it took me a long time to get into them because it's like you have to sit with them and just kind of absorb it. And I feel like that's how CKY is too. So I think if you talk to me like a year from now, if I've listened to more CKY, my opinions are going to completely change on the band. But
and like, to be fair too, we kind of grew up with CKY, but then also didn't grow up with CKY because we know 5 CKY songs really, really, really well.
True.
Because those were the 5 songs they played in the various CKY videos that we had watched 1,000 times. But never really got into like the band CKY.
Minus one album, which I'll get
Which
into.
I cannot fucking believe. It's not that good. But okay. That's fine.
Okay. So what do you got for number 2?
Album of the Week, Volume 1. This was almost below the Phoenix for me, but this one elevated a little bit because I think the songwriting was kind of cool. But we'll get into that. Volume 1, my number 2.
Yep. My number 2 is also Volume 1. So let's move on to our number 1s. What do you got for number 1?
Infiltrate, Destroy, Rebuild. This was unbelievably good. A massive step up from their first. Darren stepped up and co-produced this one with Chad. So they're both like doing things together. They know the common ground, where they want to go, what they want it to sound like. I think the guitar and the Moog riff thing, this is what they do. This is what they do the best. This is what their iconic sound is. It may not be like that interesting, but damn, it's fucking unique to them. And I have an anecdote for that later on, but it's so much better on this one, on this album. And the songs, they're not just like straight aggressive metal like Volume 1 was trying to do. Mm-hmm. Everything here grooves now. There's a lot better grooves. Jess is better at the drums. The singing's more melodic. The drum beats are more melodic. Everything is just elevated in all the best ways. Even like the ballad-like closer is a fucking banger. Like I think this album is absolutely fantastic. I think this is up there with like being close to like a 2.8 out of 3. It's fucking good. I was blown away by how good this was.
2.8? Oof. That's a bold statement.
Plastic Plan is my fucking favorite. As soon as you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, I know this song. There are songs like that. But you know it. And Plastic Plan, besides 96 Quite Bitter Beings, Plastic Plan is their second best song.
Yeah.
God damn, dude. This album's fantastic.
It's a good album, but I mean, I need to spend more time with it. I really do. It might go up in my rankings. I don't know. We'll see. Are you gonna get this on vinyl?
I've already fucking put so much CKY on my want list on Discogs.
Did you really?
And they don't. They've never done this on vinyl. Only a picture disc, which is fine because it's a 2000s picture disc. And those tend to sound better than like the 90s picture disc, but not great. But if it's all I can get, that's fine. But then like some of the greatest hits they've released on vinyl doesn't have the songs that I want. But I would still. I just want something from CKY. Basically. Well,
how much is the picture disc? Must be expensive.
I don't think there's anything for sale, but it was, I think the last one sold for like $50 or $60. Not like crazy expensive, but I don't think there's any for sale right now.
Yeah, that's not as bad as I was expecting. I was going to say like $200 or $300. Because it's something a little bit more obscure, you know? The band is still pretty obscure, even though they shot to fame because of the videos, but they're still pretty obscure. All right, my number 1 is An Answer Can Be Found, third album from 2005. This one, I feel like this one is the best from a technical standpoint. This one has the best melodies, if we even want to say they're really melodies, because that's really not what they're known for. I feel like the vocals are just there as a placeholder. Really, that's all they are, which we'll get more into on the main album. Yeah. But no, I think this is just a step up from everything that they had done. I do have nostalgia attached to this too. I mean, Annie, our friend of the pod, Annie, she was a big CKY fan. She loved this fucking band. And so, you know, when this album came out, her and I, we both bought the CD and we just would listen to it all the fucking time. So it was always playing in the car or whatever. So it's just nostalgia driving out to LA to go to shows. We listened to CKY and whoever else, or Thrice, whatever. So, I mean, there's a ton of that involved in it. I don't know. I really really like how much better the band got at this point. I mean, this is, I think, songwriting wise, this is their peak right here. Outside of the song 96 Quite Bitter Beans, which I think is just an absolute beyond banger. This
good.
as a whole, this record is their peak. I really, really think it technically, melodically, songwriting wise, this is their peak.
Okay.
Vocally, I kind of get what you mean, but it doesn't detract or doesn't take away from the rest of the songs or the songs themselves. Because like I said, the vocals are really just there as a placeholder. So that's my banger. My banger is Dressed in Decay. This one is one of the faster songs. Some really kind of interesting drumming that Jess does on here, which we'll get into later. But some interesting drumming on here, and that lead guitar line is fucking solid too. So there's like they kind of double time it at parts. It's a really cool song. So yeah, that's my banger is Dressed in Decay.
I would agree that like this is probably their peak musical songwriting like prowess. Like this is them at their best. They tried really, really hard, and it came out really, really good. I just fucking hate that vocal delivery. I think it's bad.
I can't believe
I think it's
ruined
bad.
it for you.
Yeah, it's bad.
I really didn't think it was that much different than.
And I thought this was going to be my number one, like because I've listened to this more than anything else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, you want to do origin stories now, or do you
Oh
want to
no.
do origin stories later?
I didn't know if it was involved in your origin story. So then we'll move on. So yeah, that's it for the rankings. Then stay tuned for the main episode because obviously we're getting into CKY's first record, Camp Kill Yourself, Volume 1. So that's it. That's all.
Right done.
Oh, that's fucked up.
That's all I can think of.